blue, brown, red. I'm going to talk a little bit about each switch, so sit back and enjoy the show. The blue switch is the typer's dream. It's clicky, noisy, and I love every single moment of it. It's not like you can't play games with this switch, and I know quite a few people that do only play games using the blue switch. The typing feel for the blue switch is extremely satisfying if you are a big fan of the click, but it can be extremely annoying for the people that don't like the click. I have seen many blue lovers having to switch to browns because their loved ones just couldn't take the switch. If you are a fan of the blue and you have to switch to the brown, then I want you to understand the sacrifice that you have to make for the benefits of your family and roommates. Share this video with them so that they can appreciate the huge sacrifice you're making for them, especially if you are typing a lot. The blue switch is heavier of the three with 50 grams of force, but you won't really be able to tell unless you test out multiple switches. The blue switch have a very special place in my heart because it was the first switch that got me to become the mechanical keyboard junkie that you see here today. It was truly love at first type, and I still prefer the blue switch over the other three because of how satisfying it feels to type. The click is music to my ears, just like a natural revving V8 to most of you car guys out there that happen to stumble upon my channel. Here is the beautiful symphony that is the blue switch. The brown switch is like the Goldilocks of switches, where you get the tactile bump from the blue and you get the lighter weight feeling from the reds. I know plenty of people that got the browns and never looked back because it was the perfect switch for them. Then there are people that got the brown as a starting switch but later move on to the red or blue depending on where they want to go in their switch journey. For people that are new to mechanical keyboards, I would say to start with the brown because it gives you the foundation to understand who you really are. Whether you move on to another switch or stay with the brown, there is no wrong move. I like the brown switch because of the tactile bump. When I type on the brown switch, it makes me miss the typing feel and sound of the blue switch. Now, call me crazy, and you can definitely do that by putting the comment down below. But the tactile bump of the brown is not as pronounced as the blue. I know that 5 grams of force should not make that much of a difference, but I feel like it does, and I would prefer the tactile bump of the blue switch. The brown as the next switch in my journey of the mechanical keyboards. And I will admit there was a point when I used the brown switch more than the blue. But whenever I hear the beautiful clicking sound of the blue across the room, it makes me miss the blue so much. If the blue switches no longer exist in the world, then I would take the brown switch. But thankfully, that's not the case. And here is a sound sample of the brown switch. The red switch is built for gamers with its linear design-like feel. I also hear people saying that they would prefer red switches for typing, but personally I don't understand why the red switches would be good for typing. The linear feel of the switch is meant for double tapping quickly, which is a valuable asset. I can't say this enough. It's such a valuable asset when playing video games. I can definitely see myself typing on red switches in a pinch, such as writing comments on YouTube videos like the one you're watching right now. One thing that I have to admit is that I didn't like red switches in the beginning because of the linear feel. It just seems so odd to me, and I often make typo on red switches. But over time I have gotten used to the red switches, and I can definitely see the value why red switches have for people who only wants to play video games. The linear design drastically reduces finger fatigue, especially if you are playing for long durations. The light feeling of the switch really keeps me going during times when I would have just given up if I were to use the blues or the browns. I often see people move from brown to red, or starting off with red and staying there, but once in a blue moon, it's kind of like a unicorn, but once in a blue moon I will see people move from blue to red. If you have been watching my channel for a long time, then you might have noticed I was pretty anti-red, but now I have grown older and possibly just a little bit wiser. I can see the appeal of the red switches. I can't say that I love the red switches, but I can tell you that I have grown to tolerate the red switches and understand why people choose red. And here is a typing sample of the red switches. At the end of the day, you are not wrong for choosing one switch over the other. Or you could be one of those people that can't decide and buy one of each switch and switch them around throughout the week. Pun was definitely intended. Whether you are with Team Blue, Brown, or Red, there is one thing that we all have in common: our love for mechanical keyboards. We could just spend around $10 and get the run-of-the-mill membrane keyboard, but we pursue the mechanical keyboard because it's our passion. I absolutely love how big the community has grown, and I want more and more people to adopt a mechanical keyboard. We need to have a mechanical keyboard in our lives, whether you type a lot or game a lot or both. You would want a mechanical keyboard because it keeps you going when you typically given up. A mechanical keyboard can be your best friend when you need to type for long hours, or when you want to dedicate the better half of your time off to play video games. If you are watching this video, then I want you to help me by leaving a like, sharing the video so that more and more people can become aware of mechanical keyboards, so that they can adopt one, like a cute little puppy. If you like the content, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more. Have an awesome day.